So the owner called yesterday. I gave her a cold start. I gave her a run. He wanted to just check out what I was thinking about the clutch. We decided to go ahead and do the clutch in it. When you put it into top gear and out of the clutch, the back wheels, you can hear everything kind of juddering a bit. So the clutch is on the way out. I've adjusted as much as I can, and I don't think there's much life left in it. So yeah, that's the crack. We're waiting for consignment of parts. The clutch is included in that, along with the thermostat housing, to take off the tank and make sure it's not leaking. I don't know, is it? I'm just not 100% happy. I keep drying under there, and I keep every evening and every time I put my hand up there, there's a weep on it. So I'll take off the tank. I am struggling to get this to seal. I know it's not perfectly straight going into it. I might have to do another bit of juggling with that there to get it up. You can see it's putting a bit of pressure on the tank tap as well. It's pulling it down, so I will have to do a bit of juggling with that. Maybe lever it up from down here, put a lever, get that a bit straighter. It's just a little bit dampish there the whole time and dripping. So yeah, it's just these pipes are so hard. The olive on them is super hard, and it's not sealing great. So look, I know from fitting them to my own that sometimes you just have to get them as straight as you can going in and then tighten. So while I'm waiting for those parts, there's one thing I'm just going to try to do anyway, considering how tight the front wheel bolts are. I just want to start seeing if I can loosen these, because I will have to have a look. Okay, that's not too bad. We'll have to take off this wheel, the back wheel as well. I'll have to look into the brakes. I have a feeling I'm going to have to pull the half shaft. These are actually grand so far. He wants these double wheel extension bracket lads, or that. He wants them off, and he wants wheel nuts in their place. So that's no problem. That's brilliant. I didn't think any of these were going to be so easy. Lovely. I have a few wheel nuts there spare, so we're putting it back together. We'll get rid of them. And I have to drilling out a few of them sheared off wheel studs. It'll be fun. Yeah, as I say, I'll probably have to pull the half shafts, because the brake backing plate, the brake rod goes through the brake backing plate, and when that knuckle is seized that I showed, when this knuckle is seized in here, and it's fairly badly seized, you have to take the brake backing plate off really to get it onto the bench. And the only way of doing that is to get the half shafts out. So I don't know, are they leaking or not? They don't look wet, but I have a feeling that's going to be my only option. And then replace the seals when I'm in there. Take off the mudguards as well each side, so I get plenty of room for cleaning things back and working and stuff like that. And so yeah, I think we're moving here on all of these, I think. So I'll take these adapters off anyway. One new wheel nut I found. I'll have to move the tractor more to the middle of the shed here. Anyway. So I think my plan is going to be get the tractor built back up on the front anyway. That's grand. So what I'll do there is I'll look for 1, 2, 3, 4 wheel nuts there, and many studs, one sheared off there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 wheel nuts, and I'll come back then. I'll just have them put to one side. So I think the best job here is just literally going to be pick where I want to finish. So I try and finish the front, retract it, split it. So that's what our wheel stud there anyway. That's what we need for the sheared off one to just tap in. It can be a little bit fun at times. They're all front wheel nuts. So I'll have a look over here now and see. I think I have some hanging here. I don't know where the front or back. They're front. They're not ideal. So could be a little bit short on the rear wheel nut. That looks like a rare one there. So there's one anyway. There's another one, I think. Just may as well get these ready. So there's two. So that's that one sorted. So we need two more. Yeah, we may as well just be tipping, getting these small little jobs done. There's another one. There's another one. So we should have enough now to go all around. And this is the last one there. I think. Front one. The thread's bad on that, very bad, yeah. Threads are crap on that one. Don't have a die for that. Looks like someone hit it a wallop or something. So I'll bring over the drill there and just clean those threads up. Some of these to suffer alright over the years. Big blob of paint on it there, maybe that'll sort it. That thread's not actually not that bad now. Ah yeah, I'll get that. That's good. That was just a big blob of paint. That was kind of dripping. Some of them, I look for better. Not some of these were hit with a chisel there, so they're not 100%. Take a look for our best. There's a nicer one there. Yeah, that's a square one there. They've all had the tap of a chisel, but look, I'm more worried about getting them getting a full set of them anyway. Yeah, so that would be that. It's a bit of a pity that we have to do the clutch in one way, because we did put all of this stuff back on, nice and tight and neat, and that all has to come off. But look, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that much. I was trying to get into this lad under there and loosen him. It's a bit tight in there at the moment for that. I could do with having this off, but someone's after welding the foot plate onto the peg, so to take this off, to take that off, that means the tractor can't be moved. So I'm just trying to see what sort of stuff I can do. And then do I really need to take off the mudguard? I probably don't, no, I don't. If I pull the half shaft, it'll probably be good enough. Otherwise you're working on that with the backing plate, holding it in place, and you're very limited in what you can do. So no, the half shafts will have to come out, and that's no problem. I'll grease up the bearings. I don't know, does this one have a grease nipple? Some of them do, some of them don't. Yeah, it does. So we'll have to take out that grease nipple and get that motoring, because that's basic maintenance as well. Let's turn the light on in this part of the shed now and see. I might pull a few sockets and have a look, see if I can take that grease nipple out. drop the camera down a bit. So I put some spacers on those nuts here just to bring it for a spin the other day, because this thing has a big thick roll bar on it and it was too high to get into the shed here. So that's what we're looking at there. That's a big one. Talking roughly ½ inch, I'd say. So I'll bring up a few sockets there and see if we can get him out. These are the small little jobs we can be tipping at. A lot of paint on that. Okay. See if he got a grip on him there. No, it must be a 7/16. I'll try the next size down to so much paint on it. I don't think any of these are ½ inch actually, come to think of it. 7/16 is probably. There's so much paint on it. Ah, yeah, it's a 7/16, so we'll tap him on. Of course, it's a lot easier to do with the wheel off, but there we go. Clean him up in the vise and get him working. Okay, so that's grand. We'll move over to the vise now and see. So grease nippers are just one of them parts that you invest a little bit of time into making sure that they work, and you know, then when you put your grease gun on, because some fairly hard old grease in there, that wasn't going to go helping now, especially if that was to be pushed into your bearings. And there's a ball in there and it's on a spring, so work him in and out a few times. Get your penetrating oil and just try and get that worked in there. Into the vise with it then. And we just want to make sure that that's letting grease through it. That's all I want to see. So that can go back in. That's all we wanted to see. Get rid of that whole shite out of it. And, so we'll put him back in. I'll take the other side out. So I'll come back when I have the other side out, and we'll see what that looks like. Okay, and this is the other side. So I just put my hand up under the brake backing plate on the back left hand side, and the axle seal is leaking. So we'll do both half shaft axle seals. We're going to do them anyway, because we're going to have to pull down half shafts. Now we're definitely justified in doing that. Now if one of them's leaking, the left hand side usually goes first, because you know yourself, the roads the tractors will be driving on, and driving on the left hand side, your left hand side of the tractor is closest to the ditch, so potholes and bumps and humps and all that. So we'll do both of them, because most likely going to go doing. So this needs another little bit of work. There we go, finally through. This needs that little bit of stuff to work through it and get that ball and the spring moving. So that's okay. We'll put him back on and we'll have both sides done then. And while we're at it, may as well just try see if some of these want to move. One row this side. Okay. Try the wheel nuts first. Okay. Lower the lever. Yeah. matters. All good. So that's all good. With that much done. Right. What do we do now? Do I start cracking into brakes? Line her up here in the middle a bit more so. Well, actually, I don't even have to. If I was doing that side, I could finish it. Brakes, half shaft seals. Yeah. I'm just keeping an eye here as well. There was a bit of a, I've wiped it up there, a leak. I hope that crankshaft seal isn't leaking. I've wiped it dry, looked under it with a mirror and a torch. There was a lot of water, I'd say, from after I brought it back from test drive dripping down, and there was loads of oil and shite in there, and maybe that was just it dripping down, but it did look more so like oil. We definitely have to do the gearbox input shaft seal. You see there's always oil underneath, so that's ordered. I have to look about getting the original part there. That's too short. That could be fun, but I'm better off leaving that until I split the tractor, because that radius arm has to come off, that foot beg has to come off, and I'll be able to get in there. So there's an order, I suppose, a method to the madness. So I suppose what I'd like to do maybe is whip off that wheel, get into the brakes there, put on new shoes if needed. I most likely will do them anyway, I have them here. And then start freeing up that knuckle, because that is going to be whole handling by the looks of things. That's why the brakes weren't working on that side at all. It's completely and utterly seized in the wrong place, and it's stopping the brakes really from doing a whole lot of turning. If you look at that, cross shaft isn't turning at all. That should be turning. Excuse me. So the brakes weren't doing anything there on that side. This is pulling a little bit, but that needs to be adjusted. So yeah, that'll be. So we'll have to take this off as well, free it up, loosen off the lock nut, get that clevis end on it, threading. That is doing nothing. The other side that's lifting a little bit, so the brakes were working, but still, yeah, it'll be fun, alright. And of course another reason for pulling the half shafts is you're hardly going to be able to work on that knuckle with that battery tray there. So that could be welded in place on the back there as well. Yeah, it's welded in place. So that has to stay there. Now, there's one issue about that, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we're lucky. The original battery tray, right? Had a lad coming around there. So you would have had to, if I'm not mistaken, am I right in saying that? I look on my own 20. I think there was some complications with the original battery tray going around that. Yeah, you see what happened there. You have to be able to take off the battery tray, because otherwise it's stuck. That bracket goes right around it, and then your knuckle is stuck in place. So we're lucky that whoever did this cut off the bit underneath, so we can actually pull all that out, I think. We're very lucky. Yeah. Wow, I didn't even think of looking at that or checking it. So maybe that's what we'll do. Jack it up, to whip off the wheel, get this side done, brakes, half shaft seal, get that knuckle up onto the bench, and free it all up. At least we can be doing that while we're waiting for our parts, and get that side done, and then we can do the other side then, and we can shim then the rear axle end float in the bearings then when we have that done. We can whip both wheels off and have a feel there and try and get it right. Okay, whip off this wheel and we'll see what's what. So jack under it there, axle stand ready to go. See what is what in there. Hopefully the brakes, well, I don't really mind what condition they're in. I have all new brake shoes there and rivets, so feel it. I have to fit them, but the biggest job on this side I think is going to be loosening up that independent brake, side brake knuckle. So that'll be fun, but we'll get it. We always do. Make sure these are all. Yeah. Loosen it. Oh, lift her up a bit, fire that axle stand right there. This is the weight of it. Okay. I'm just going to go and get another axle stand. Since I have two of them, may as well use them. Ready for taking the wheel off, and then sort of jack it up another pump or two and fire in. Axle stand there, second axle stand just a little bit further in, so we'll make sure that that's good and safe. And we'll keep it on the jack as well. Let's get this second one in a little bit more. I think that's going to be just great. Let it down now. And then a pump or two on the jack just to keep everything nice and still. Okay. And the other axle stand underneath her as well. And then we should be nice and safe. So the question is, does this have its grub screws in? That's always the question. So one of them is in, I think. No grub screws. Right. That makes life easier. So it looks like the tractor was painted without any undercoat, and that's why you get this flake in here. So what I might do is just drag up my mat. Just means I can shake it then outside then, rather than drag up my mat and fire it underneath that. This is up when we pull out them hot shafts. So, brakes are off. Is this going to come off easy? I dare say it is. Especially with all that paint in there around it. A lot of dirty paint. But what we can do is we can tread in, as we've had to do on a good few tractors now at this stage of the game. Is we tread in, thankfully there's left threaded hole there, threaded a bolt in there and there, and it should push it out. But I think before I'm just going to get the drill and just give a run around those studs and clean that paint. If nothing else, it'll make those wheel nuts go on easier because they were fighting me a good bit. Okay, drop the penetrating oil, try and get things soaking. Right, now I think I'm just going to go straight now and get the bolts get them screwed in there. It's strange, the holes there for screwing your bolts into, they usually push up again the half shaft. I can say there's another hub, and when you screw them in it pushes this off, but when I look in there with the torch I can see more threads, so it's just going right through, so I don't know. So I'm just going to have to go the old fashioned way, try and tap it off this way. Seems to be coming anyway, thankfully. Some of these can be rightly stuck. Seems to be moving there now. I'm happy with that. I'll put you at the end here, you might be able to see a bit more. Oh God, I explained when there's no brakes. Yeah, and we know why that happens. You have to chamfer, you have to file away a bit there to allow it to catch hand, you know, gradually. If there's a sharp edge there, it'll catch it and break it off. My God, but underneath good. So we'll get away with just the top. My God. That's a bloody good one, isn't it? So I'll be able to give all this a clean up then as well. My God, boys. There's our adjuster into the vice with him. I'll give him a good, he's not in bad condition there. Well, a bit of chewing gone on there, is there? Ooh. The adjuster wheel is good anyway, that's not in bad nick. This, I'll have to have a look, see if I have a better one of them. A little bit chewed, yeah. Should have a better one of them there. Right. They need to be greased because they're too catchy. And the top one was too tight. That was never going to work. See? Never going to work. Too tight. Okay. Starting to find some problems there already. Lovely. So let's go ahead and strip this down. I'm going to remove this sheared stud here first. I gave it a clap of a hammer, it's not moving, so I'm going to drill it. I'm going to cut it off flat there with the hub and the axle, and I'm going to start drilling it. I think it's easier to do it in this. I don't like putting half shafts in the vise, you know yourself. So yeah, cut that, have the angle grinder there, and we'll start drilling then and hopefully tap that out. Might even be able to get a new one in most of the way it is, and we actually tighten the wheel up and pulled it in the last. Right, so I'm just drilling away here, so hopefully now we'll get it run through, it'll weaken it, and then we'll be able to tap it out. And if we go, might even just try that there. It's a nice bit gone out of it. So I'll get a punch there and see if we're able to get him to shift. Right. Yeah. No. I'm going to go hitting it any harder than that. So what I'll do is just go the next size up. Sometimes you're better off not drilling right through, so you can put a punch in. At least you have something to hit without widening the front. How's that looking now? Just don't want to go widening out, and that's all. If I have to go grind at level, I don't mind. Oh, I might have to go next size up. Just the biggest one I have, that's 10 mil. Goes to show the metal that's in these lads from the factory. That last one was only 8 mil, so take another 2 mil out of that now is about as much as I can go. Not ideal. That's my fault, should have put it in gear. Broke a 10 mil bit. I'll get another one. That's how we're looking now. 12 mil. Stepped at the front to back to 10 so I can get my punch in. Is that one too wide? It is. Oh, I get this punch in, it goes. It doesn't come through. So I'm just going to keep drilling and tapping here, and that should weaken then and just tap through. Okay, it's still fighting me, so I just pulled off the top brake shoe. I'm going to pull off this bottom one here as well. And just give it a bit more room. I might try and get a hacksaw blade in now and just... Jesus Christ. What was that was around? So, might just put off the bottom there as well. It might give me a bit of room. I might try and get a hacksaw onto it just to weaken the last bit of it there. As I've gone through drill bit after drill bit, and it's just so long in there, and there's such good net. Gone through about half an oil can of oil, trying to keep the drill bit cool, lubricated. Right, so that's that. That brake shoe is okay. Right, put all the parts together anyway. And there's another brake shoe with the rock bit on it. Should be. There's another locking nut. Yeah, so how we're looking there now at the moment. Get the old torch and we'll have a look. We're nearly out there. I kind of stepped it. You can probably see the step in there, so I can hit it with hit a clout of a load of different punches there all around me. But now what I'm thinking is drill that the whole way through now, and try and get a hacksaw in there and actually just hacksaw down till I meet that, and that'll weaken it then, and we should be able to tap it out. She's still fighting me, but we have a bit of movement. See that little gap? That's called winning. It feels good. We've broken 2 brand new 10 mil drill bits, but anyway, we can get more. So I'm just going to keep tapping now and hopefully that'll come out. So there you go. Finally. They always come in the end, I suppose. Lovely. Now we've got a bit of cleaning up to do. So I'm just going to get the workshop hoover there now and suck all of that stuff out of there. So there's a bit of work needed on these wheel studs. You have to grind a little bit of a flat edge on them there, otherwise they won't fit. They're not like the original ones. So that's what I do, and line them up, that flat edge in there. That's important. Put on a few washers. All my other big washers there are holding on the mud guards at the moment. And then your wheel nut. Just make sure that flat edge is in line with what you're pulling it into. And then pull it in. All going well. She'll pull in there, and that flat edge will catch there and have to stop it spinning. It shouldn't spin anyway. As grips on it, like. Take a few spins to get her there. Just check that it's pulling straight, because if it's spinning at all, it's going to end up in bother. Having the tractor in gear is a good idea. I would have saved me breaking that first drill bit that was brand fucking new. Struggling with blunt ones, but I'll pick up a few tomorrow, 10 mils, even 12 mil. Ended up going 12 in the end. But I used the broken drill bit there anyway to help widen out the hole. So all wasn't lost. They do fight you. These wheel subs, the original ones, are just so hard compared to these new ones. There's no comparison. That goldy colour is only a bit of an coating on it anyway. It's actually silvery metal behind it. That's pulling in there fairly well. I did clean out the hole there with the Dremel. Oh jeez. And a bit of grinding stone on it. Mild enough, wasn't very rough. Grind the stone, but still all the same, it does need it. That's pulling in there fairly well. So make sure our flat edge is flat edge is where it needs to be, and that should pull right in. Otherwise it won't go in the whole way. And you're baiting it out then again and all of that mess. Should have positioned the camera on the other side, so I'm using my body weight. There we go. Yeah, that's good enough. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's a bit of a workout. Fairly thick and warm too. Okay. And that's how we're looking in behind there now. Nice and level. That's sticking out definitely as much as the rest of them's, not a tiny little smidgen bit more, so that sorted. We've taken off the brake rod here, drop. This is welded on here, which is a bit of a nuisance because we have to let that rod drop in behind the other bracket for the step. But we should be able to rattle that out there now, even now the way it is, because I don't think, I'd say the spring is in here is well and truly rusted and gone. That's actually still there. This brake hasn't been working for a long time, so the bushing in there isn't too bad in the back axle. But that said, I have a new one there. I have a new spring as well for that, so definitely treat all the parts it needs. This side of the tractor wasn't breaking for a long time, and then of course when it did, it made shit of the brake pad, brake shoe. So that's where we're at. I suppose we can go and start loosening off the half shaft hub there. You know, the ring is six of them on it there. Some of them are terrible bad, so same crack that I do with everything else. I have a selection of them nuts from cylinder heads that fit on really well, and they're good hard black nuts. They've been in oil all their life, most of them, and they'll definitely make a massive difference there. So we'll put a ring of them on it, or replace whatever we need. But for this evening, I think I'm going to leave it there, and we'll pick up from here tomorrow. So some of them, as you can see, are just a bit. So we'll get that sorted. So we'll pick up from here tomorrow, hopefully. Out with the half shaft, off with the brake back in place. This rod will still be attached. We can get all that into the vice then and start baiting. And the idea being that we've get this shaft here loose in there, get the side brake off, try and get that clevis off there as well for the brake rod, get everything freed up, polished up, and greased up, oiled up, all of that, moving basically. And we'll fit a new bushing in the back axle there, fit a half shaft seal in there, and then we'll start looking at brakes then as well. We'll get them right on it.